A new generation of Xbox has recently released, the Xbox Series X. It is the most powerful gaming console ever created. The new Xbox Series X is fast, quiet, and its performance is very pronounced. And as with every new Xbox that has ever released, a new refined controller has released alongside it. The Xbox team has developed a new controller, one that looks, feels, and performs better than any Xbox controller ever. In this video, I will be going over the differences between the Xbox Series X controller and the Xbox One controller. Let's get right into it.
Hey YouTube, Excitertainment here, and today we are going to be going over the differences between the Xbox Series X controller, which is on the left, and the Xbox One controller, which is on the right. The Xbox team didn't totally redo the new Xbox controller. They added a few elements here and there, however, the look and feel of it is similar to the previous Xbox One controller. Basically, they built off previous versions of the Xbox controller and created a more refined controller that's supposed to give gamers a better gaming experience. But does it actually improve gameplay? Stick around until the end of the video to hear my opinion on the new Xbox controller. But first, let's talk about the key differences between both controllers. Okay, so first off, the Xbox team improved the new Xbox controller by designing it to fit a wider range of hand sizes, especially focusing on smaller hands. By doing this, Xbox has made the controller more comfortable to hold and more accessible, and they did this by rounding the bumpers, slightly reducing and rounding parts around the triggers, and sculpting the grips. The D-pad is also changed on the new Xbox controller. It is now a hybrid of the cross-shaped D-pad from previous Xbox controller models and a rounded diagonal pad. The Series X controller D-pad is now slightly concave and circular. This is coupled with the cardinal directions of the D-pad being raised. And if you don't know what the cardinal directions are, it's just up, down, left, and right. And you can kind of see that each direction is raised. The change on the D-pad is supposed to boost performance and accessibility. Alright, so now let's talk about my favorite characteristic of the new Xbox Series X controller. It's the share button. The share button is located right here under the Xbox home button. So basically, if you want to take a screenshot of your gameplay, all you need to do is press the share button once. If you want to record gameplay, you only need to press and hold the share button for 1 second and the Xbox will record the last 30 seconds of gameplay. To access your captures, just double press the share button. You could change your share settings anytime through your Xbox settings. This is a really cool feature of the new controller because it allows you to take a screenshot, record a video, or look at your captures instantaneously. With the previous Xbox, you would have had to open the guide menu first in order to be able to do these things, and the last Xbox controller does not have a share button. Let's talk briefly about grips. On the new Xbox controller, Xbox added tactile dots on the triggers, bumpers, and on the sticks, as you can see right here. These tactile dots allow you to grip the controller better, which in turn will improve gameplay. They also put a matte finish on the D-pad, bumpers, and triggers. Xbox has made these changes to make the controller easier to use, and rightfully so. I can really feel a difference playing with the Series X controller. It feels much nicer on my hands than the Xbox One controller. The Xbox One controller does not have grips on the sticks, left or right trigger, or the bumpers. On the technical side of things, Xbox has made the Xbox Series X controller compatible with the Xbox One. This means you could play on your Xbox One with your Series X controller. On the flip side, you can also play your Xbox Series X with an Xbox One controller. With the Series X controller, gamers can also play on other devices besides an Xbox, such as PC, Android, and iOS. Xbox has implemented something in the controller called Bluetooth Low Energy, so pairing to these other devices is much easier. For battery and charging, the new Series X controller has a USB-C port, which is right here, instead of the Xbox One controller's micro USB port. This allows you to charge your controller and play at the same time. In order to use this feature though, you must have an Xbox rechargeable battery kit. If you don't have a rechargeable kit, then you'll have to replace the batteries every time they run out of juice. You can get the Xbox rechargeable battery kit from the Xbox website for $24.99. The kit comes with a rechargeable battery and a USB-C cable. It will give you a full charge in just 4 hours and will provide you with up to 30 hours of battery life per charge. I will leave a link for this in the description if you'd like to learn more about this. And last but not least, the new Xbox controller has something called dynamic latency input. With this new system, information will be sent more frequently from the controller. It will basically match your button presses to frames on screen, cutting down on latency and making the action that happens on screen more immediate and responsive. So does the new Xbox controller actually improve gameplay? The answer is yes, it does. The improvements the Xbox team gave it make it much better than the Xbox One controller. Whether it's the new grips, reduced latency, improved D-pad, or any of the other new characteristics, the new Xbox controller is one of a kind. What do you guys think of the new Xbox controller? Let me know in the comments down below. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.